There's a new elegance for this Mercury Marquis with a sculptured metal stand-up hood ornament.
A premium model of the Mercury Marquis from 1975 to 1982, the Grand Marquis became a standalone model in 1983. Throughout its entire production run, the Grand Marquis served as the Mercury line's flagship vehicle. This is the story of the Mercury Grand Marquis.
Grand Marquis, top of the line, and a new level of elegance for 1975.
The Mercury Marquis nameplate appeared for the first time in 1967 on a Mercury Monterey with 2 doors and a hardtop, essentially a Ford LTD equivalent. For 1974, the Grand Marquis nameplate made its first appearance, introduced as an interior trim package of the Marquis Brougham. In addition to a wood trim steering wheel, the interior was fitted with leather and velour split bench seats.
Watch the seats as I slam the door. Virtually no wobble in the Mercury. In every measure of quality tested, they rated the Marquis superior, and 122 out of 150 rated the Marquis superior overall.
For 1975, Mercury discontinued the Monterey, a Mercury nameplate since 1950, with the Marquis becoming the sole full-size Mercury product line. The Grand Marquis allowed Mercury to compete more directly with the Buick Electra 225, Oldsmobile 98, and Chrysler New Yorker. The Grand Marquis was equipped with the 460 V8. 4-wheel disc brakes were offered as an option. For 1976, in the interest of fuel economy, a 400 cubic inch V8 became standard through 1977, with the 351 cubic inch V8 becoming standard for 1978. The 460 remained available as an option. For this generation, 4-door models were thin pillar sedans, with frameless door glass but a thin fixed B-pillar between the doors. Coupes retained the hard-top body from pre-1975 cars but had fixed rear windows.
I'd like to show you how science helped create a new Mercury Marquis standard of driving comfort for '79. The most scientifically engineered Marquis in history and most beautiful.
For the 1979 model year, as Ford and Mercury downsized their full-size model lines, the Grand Marquis made its return, gaining interior space over its 1978 predecessor. For 1980, Ford introduced the LTD Crown Victoria as the first direct counterpart of the Grand Marquis. During the 1980s, all 3 Ford divisions underwent a substantial revision of their full-size and mid-size model ranges. As the Grand Marquis became a distinct model line from 1983, its powertrain underwent several revisions, with the fuel-injected 4.9 V8 rounded up to 5.0 by Ford becoming the sole engine offering. Shared with the Lincoln Town Car and LTD Crown Victoria in 1986, the 5.0-liter V8 adopted multi-port fuel injection with a cast aluminum upper intake manifold, increasing output to 150 horsepower. From 1979 through 1991, the Grand Marquis sedan was offered solely as a 6-passenger sedan with a front bench seat. While largely similar to its Ford counterpart, the dashboard of the Grand Marquis was trimmed with brushed stainless steel. In place of the horizontal speedometer, the Grand Marquis was fitted with 2 square pods for the fuel gauge, warning lights, and speedometer. For 1990, the interior underwent a second major revision. To comply with the passive restraint regulations, the Grand Marquis was given a driver's side airbag. The rear outboard seats received 3-point seatbelts. The dashboard was completely redesigned and adopted the horizontal speedometer used by Ford using a silver background. For the first time, a temperature gauge was included alongside the fuel gauge.
We've got the winds of change upon us, from big city to small town too. This is where America's cars start rolling.
Unveiled on November 28th of 1990 for the 1992 model year, both Ford and Mercury Panther platform cars underwent their most extensive changes since their introduction for 1979. While the chassis was retained, the body was all new from the ground up. After 13 years on the market, the full-size sedans from Mercury and Ford were struggling against far more modern competition.
For you, there's Mercury Grand Marquis. Standard V8, rear-wheel drive, room for 6, and dual airbags. Try it on for size.
In 1994, Mercury increased side door impact protection. AC refrigerant changed from R12 to R134A. In 1995, there was a mid-cycle redesign. Exterior trim features increased use of body color trim and less chrome. On the front, a larger, rounder grille is better integrated to the body, while all lights on the front are changed to clear lenses. The 1997 was the last year for the second-generation Grand Marquis. The Mercury emblems are removed from the C-pillars.
Why don't you slip into something a little more comfortable?
All right.
The third-generation Grand Marquis went on sale in 1997 for the 1998 model year with an evolutionary update to the exterior and interior. For 1998, the standard-equipped V8 with single exhaust was increased in output to 200 horsepower from 190 horsepower. For 2001, the engines were retuned to 220 and 235 respectively. For 2003, the Grand Marquis saw an extensive styling update, and the Ford Panther chassis was redesigned for the first time since its introduction in 1979. In 2005, for a single year, the radio antenna became externally mounted to the rear fender. In 2006, the Grand Marquis was given a mid-cycle exterior update in what would be the last styling update for the Panther vehicle. For the 2007 LS models, a Palm Beach trim option was available. It consisted primarily of special upholstery and badging. The engine was also given flex fuel capability.
I'll let you in on a little secret. $3,000 cash back on the Mercury Grand Marquis. The only car in its class with a standard V8 engine and a trunk this large.
In continuous production for 36 years, the Grand Marquis was the longest produced Mercury. In total, over 2.7 million were produced, making it the best-selling vehicle sold by Mercury. On June 2, 2010, Ford announced that it would end production of all Mercury vehicles by the end of 2010, as it discontinued the brand after 72 years. As a result of an unplanned delay in parts shipments, the final Grand Marquis was produced on January 4th, 2011. Hey, that about wraps it up on the Mercury Marquis. Did you own one? Did your family own one? We want to know. Leave your comments below. All right, so hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing to those subscribers who support our channel. If you are not a subscriber, please help us out. Subscribe to our channel. Leave us your comments below, like the video, subscribe, and hit that bell for future notifications. This is Michael J. with the Boker Brothers. We will catch you next Saturday.